Greetings and welcome to my presentation comparing digestive systems between three different phyla. We'll be looking at these three phyla over here. In phyla Platyhelminthes, we will look at the planaria. In phyla Annelida, we will look at the earthworm, and in phylum Mollusca, we will look at the mussel. We will be discussing how each organism's digestive system differs from the others. How the digestive system is suited to each organism's lifestyle will be discussed. In other words, how form fits function. To start off, a brief introduction of the digestive system is necessary. In general, the digestive system functions in absorbing and breaking down nutrients into a form of energy that can be used by an organism for various lifestyle processes. There are many parts to the digestive system. The parts that will be discussed here are unique and vary between the individuals. Trivial parts like the mouth, esophagus, and anus won't be discussed. Firstly, there is the pharynx, which functions in sucking up food. The earthworm and planaria contain a pharynx, but the mussel does not. The mussel actually uses gills to push food into the mouth. And fascinatingly, there are finger-like cilia on the gills that capture food from water coming into the mussel from the end current siphon. Next, the site of digestion in these individuals varies between them. The planaria has a gastrovascular cavity. In earthworms, they have an intestine, and in mussels, they have a stomach. In the mussel and earthworm, the intestine is where nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream and distributed to the body. In planarians, nutrients are broken down in the gastrovascular cavity and distributed by diffusion to the rest of the body. A unique organ in the earthworm is the crop, which acts as a temporary food storage, and they also have the gizzard, which acts as teeth and it grinds up food. Now we will go into further comparison between these three organisms. Firstly, we have a planaria, which is in phylum Platyhelminthes. They have the simplest digestive system of the organisms we'll be talking about. Planarians are carnivorous bottom feeders, feeding on small organisms alongside the floor of rocks, streams, and ponds. Planarians have an incomplete digestive system, which means that they have a digestive cavity with only one opening. Both food and waste go through the same opening. Our second organism, the earthworm, which is found in phylum Annelida, is typically found in soil and is an important part of the soil ecosystem. They are really good at breaking down organic matter. They enjoy a variety of matter for food, including roots, leaves, nematodes, bacteria, and more. Unlike the planarian, the earthworm has a complete digestive system. This means that there is one pathway for food to follow, going from the mouth to the anus. Our third organism, the mussel, which is found in phylum Mollusca, is a filter feeder. This means that they filter algae, bacteria, phytoplankton, and other small particles from water. Like the earthworms and unlike the planarians, mussels have a complete digestive system. Right off the bat, we can see the form fits function idea. The complexity of the digestive system correlates to the complexity of the organism's lifestyle. A bottom feeder may not have need for a complete digestive system, unlike the earthworm and mussel, which have a more varied diet. To begin the digestive process, both the planarians and the earthworm use a muscular pharynx to suck up food into the mouth. Since planarians are bottom feeders, their pharynx is extended low to the ground, as seen in the picture. This contrasts with mussels, which use gills to push up food that is captured from cilia into the mouth. The finger-like cilia capture food from water coming in from the incurrent siphon. Mussels have adapted to a much more complex life system with their gills. There are two sides to the gills. This is one side, the other side is not shown, but I imagine it'd be underneath here. The increased surface area allows for more efficient food capture, and again, form fits function. The more complex lifestyle of mussels leads to improved adaptations. They also have labial palates, which direct food to the mouth. They're not pictured. This also shows how form fits function, with mussels needing a more complex feeding mechanism because of their more advanced lifestyle and feeding habits. The next part of the digestive system is the travel of food through the esophagus of each organism into their respective organs. For the planarian, food travels into the gastrovascular cavity, just pictured right here. To aid in digestion, enzymes are released by the gastrovascular cavity, which break up the ingested food into smaller particles. Once broken down, food molecules are diffused to the rest of the body. In earthworms, food travels from the mouth to the crop, where food is temporarily stored. And then it goes to the gizzard, where the food is grinded down. Sequentially, food travels into the intestines, where gland cells in the intestine release fluids to aid in the digestive process. Blood vessels along the intestinal wall absorb and transport the digested food into the rest of the body. As we saw previously, the gastrovascular cavity and planarians secreted enzymes to aid in the breakdown of food. In earthworms, we have dedicated organs, namely the gizzard and the intestine, to accomplish this. We also see a difference in how nutrients are transferred to the body. Diffusion in planarians and blood vessels in earthworms. The simpler digestive system of a bottom feeder planarian suits its simple lifestyle, while the more complex digestive system of the earthworm suits its more complex lifestyle. For mussels, food travels from the esophagus to the stomach. In the stomach, the food enters the digestive gland, where it is broken down even further by the secretion of enzymes. Next, nutrients enter the intestine, where they are absorbed into the bloodstream. The blood flow will distribute food to the cells of the body, similar to earthworms, where blood vessels transport food to the rest of the body. So, in conclusion, we have seen how the digestive system of phyla Platyhelminthes, Annelida, and Mollusca differ. Platyhelminthes has an incomplete digestive system, while Annelida and Mollusca have a complete digestive system. We also took a look at the different mechanisms for nutrient intake. Platyhelminthes and Annelida use a muscular pharynx for nutrient intake, while Mollusca has a more complex mechanism which uses finger-like cilia on its gills to capture food. The gills then push that food into the mouth. And lastly, we talked about the differences in nutrient absorption between the phyla. Platyhelminthes uses a gastrovascular cavity to break down food particles, which are then diffused to the rest of the body. Annelida utilizes the intestine to break down and transport food to the rest of their body. Mollusca uses the stomach to break down food and the intestines to transport food to the rest of their body. These differences illustrate how form fits function, which is the overarching theme of these differences that we discussed. A bottom feeder such as our planaria does not have a need for a complex digestive system due to its simple lifestyle. On the other hand, the earthworm and mussel lead different lifestyles and need a more complex digestive system in order to safely consume different organisms and lead a more complicated lifestyle. Thank you for listening.